Today I am in the office of Deb Chorney. She is a counselor and a body talk therapist. We are here in Eugene, Oregon. It's a bright, sunshiny day. And here's Deb Chorney. She's going to teach us how to do body talk therapy, the balancing of the cortices. How simple and easy it is.
And it is really simple and easy. It takes like a minute, but in a situation where you feel super stressed out, having difficulty sleeping, overthinking, or even if you're driving and you kind of need to wake up a little bit, you can do it safely with one hand. Anyways, I'm going to show you how to balance your cortices. And basically what you're doing is you're improving the communication between the right and left hemispheres of your brain. And this does wonderful things for you. So you're going to start off, I'm going to turn around. You're going to take one hand, it doesn't matter which hand, and you're going to place it at the base of your skull. And your fingers are together. And then you're going to tap gently. Take a nice breath. Tap right on the top of your head, making sure that when you're tapping, you're going over the right and left sides of the head. And then you're going to tap gently on the sternum. Again, taking a nice breath. And then where your pinky left off, you're going to move your hand up. Again, fingers together across the midline. Take a nice breath. Tap again on the sternum. Again, where your pinky left off, you're going to move up. Nice breath. It's okay to tap on your hand, or you can move it in front, whatever you want to do behind. Tapping on your sternum. Again, you're going to move down, and you're going to go as far as your brow. And this could take longer or shorter depending on the size of your head or the size of your hand. So,
or maybe how much time you have.
Or how much time you have, right. Because if it feels good in one spot, just stay with it, you know. Like, oh God, that feels good. I'm gonna tap again, because I can.
Or sometimes I'm in a hurry and I just do it really fast.
Yep. And it's still effective. The breathing part is important in there, for sure. Making sure you're breathing. Now, to end, you're going to take both your hands and you put it on the side. So this is, you're covering your temporal and limbic brain. Put your thumb down just so you have it below your ear. And take a nice breath. Take one hand off. Tap, tap, tap. On your sternum, put this hand back. This feels so good that I like to just go ahead and do it again on the other side. Limbic brain being the part of the brain that is in charge of emotion, so that's why this tends to feel really good. And don't forget this part of it because it's really important. And that is how you balance your cortices. And if you do it every day, the more you do it, the more effective it is. It's cumulative. So, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Deb. So, can you just take a moment and explain to us, what are the cortices? I mean, I understand that the cortex is all of the brain. So, are the cortices just the different parts of the brain? You talked about the limbic. Can you just maybe name those parts of the brain?
Sure. You're in occipital, and then parietal, and then frontal, and then temporal and limbic. And each part of the brain is in charge of the different functions in the body. So that's why we want to engage the brain as much as possible and cover the whole thing. And that's why we're doing the whole skull, is to cover every part of the brain. We're just using our hands as a focusing tool. And again, when problems occur, when the brain, when communication is shut off, and of course that means between the right and left hemispheres of the brain as well. So it's like we're bridging a gap, if there is one, and it happens because for lots of different reasons. Stress, We are exposed to a lot of different things in our environment now, the EMFs, the radio waves that can really throw off the balance. So the communication within our brain. So this just helps to improve that and reconnect.
Beautiful. So it's reconnecting, creating balance between the different hemispheres and different sections of our brain. So I know for me, it seems like certain parts of my brain, is often the parts of my brain that are emotional, scream louder than the more rational sides of my brain. And so this seems like it really helps me in those moments where those emotional parts of my brain are not in touch with the rational parts of my brain.
Yep.
That's when I think I noticed the biggest difference. However, I liked that you mentioned that it's great to do on a regular basis, whether you feel like you need it or not, because the effects are accumulatory.
I do it every day. I actually call it my drug of choice because it feels really good, and it also is great for mental clarity too. So like if you're a student, like doing it before a test, athletic performance, you know, it really just clears everything up and helps. Just helps in almost anything. I think that's what I've found, and a lot of other people find that too. So
beautiful. So one final question, Deb. I understand that you have a master's degree and you're also a certified body talk practitioner. How would one be in touch with you, as well as just tell me a little bit about your conventional education, because a lot of people might consider something like this to be more of a woo-woo therapy when really, in fact, it's based in science.
Yeah. Well, yes, I started off, I got my master's degree in 1989 in counseling psychology from the University of Massachusetts, and I worked in like more conventional jobs for several years. I worked in residential programming, I worked in the hospital system, doing evaluations for drug and alcohol, and depression, anxiety, etc. And but I also have always had this alternative bent where I felt like, I mean, it is holistic. You know, we are holistic. All of us, we are body, mind, spirit. We are all of those things. And so to just be focused on one aspect of things, to me, just didn't seem like enough, didn't cover all bases. And so I ended up getting a degree in nutrition too, because I thought maybe I could work with people holistically, if I understood, you know, brain chemistry better, and what, you know, vitamins or minerals, you know, could help with that, and diet, of course, you know, is huge. And then I've also done a lot of my own personal growth work. And
you're married and you have a son?
I'm married and I have a son, yeah. I'm all like...
That requires a lot of
like
personal growth, doesn't it?
Yeah. But thankfully I did a lot before doing that. So.
Excellent.
But what I found was, and this is what brought me to Body Talk, that I still seem to have some behavioral patterns in place that no matter how much therapy I did and good nutrition and all that, that I was still there. And I'm like, this is like beyond the stuff that I'm already focusing on. This is like on the cellular level, like this programming. I have these programs in place that are so deep and so old, and I don't know how to address them. And then I got introduced to Body Talk, and I was like, you know, light bulbs going off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. It is a truly very holistic practice. It covers all bases: physical, emotional, mental, and sort of spiritual. I don't know, that's sort of can be a loaded word, but just like, you know, just being in touch with our greater purpose and why we're here. So, yeah. So that's what, and I find it is incredible, and I do get a lot of people who come to me who have tried everything, and you know, and so then they become interested, but you don't have to try everything before coming to Body Talk. But it is based in pure modern science. It's you know, Western medicine is based in science that's pretty old at this point, Cartesian model, Body Talk is based in quantum physics, quantum biology, modern mathematics. So also part of Body Talk is Chinese medicine. Actually, the founder of Body Talk, Dr. John Beltime, is an acupuncturist and a chiropractor. And so because of his background, there's a lot of Chinese medicine, which is an ancient healing art. Again, very, very holistic. More traditionally often done with needles, but some people have actually described Body Talk as acupuncture without needles, because there are definitely a lot of similar principles that are there. So thank you, and again, my name is Deb Chorney, and I'm a counselor and Body Talk practitioner here in Eugene, Oregon. And if you'd like to contact me, my phone number is 541-914-0418, or you can email me at bodytalkdeb@gmail.com.
And your website is?
My website is bodytalkcounselingeugene.com.
Beautiful. Thanks again, Deb. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome.